Hi there, it's Charmaine Hammond, and here we are with a Global Influence Summit Power webinar here, and we are talking today about selling your books in bulk. If you've not heard about the Global Influence Summit, it is a fantastic event happening February 2017 in Fort Lauderdale. I'm hosting it with Teresa de Grosbois and Joseph Ranseth, and these webinars are part of us getting people ready to really build their influence and put their impact into action. Teresa and I did a few Facebook Lives about the context of selling your books in bulk, and it was such a great conversation. People kept saying, we want more, we want to go deeper on this topic. So here we are today to just do a real short webinar to give you two of the first steps that you need to take to sell your books in bulk. We're going to talk about step number one, which is the whole creation of a plan, and step number two, which is the preparation. So to sell your books in bulk, you need to create a plan or a strategy. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. It's going to take too much time and effort, and you won't be able to replicate this. The point of a plan is to create a system that you can use over and over and over again, and that you can hand off to other people to be able to take on some of the workload for you so that you can go out and do what you do best. Now, the first part of the plan is deciding when you're going to sell your books in bulk. Is it going to be at speaking engagements, at book signing, at launch events? Is it going to happen once? Will this strategy happen throughout the year? Those are things that you'll decide and put into your plan. Make sure you write everything down. Keep a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet open so that you're tracking every step in every plan. That allows you to later hand off the system to someone else to support you. Now, the next part of the plan is you've figured out when you're going to do this. Now we've got to look at how you're going to do this. The first part of creating the how is to decide all the specific steps that will go into selling your book in bulk. If you're going to be selling your book in bulk at book signing events, which I highly recommend, what you can do is create a couple of different offers for people. One is called a BOGO, buy one, get one. And the second is a bigger offer. So let's talk about BOGOs first. People typically at book signings don't buy more than one book unless you invite them to do that. I learned that the hard way. What you can do to sell your books in bulk is find a charity that you love, or a school or university college that would love to have your books. So of course it's got to be a good fit, and make sure you choose a reputable organization, one that's respected in that community that you're visiting. People are more likely to support a local charity than a national charity, so pick something local. Invite the charity to come to your event because you're going to be making a donation of books to their organization at the event at the end. You can invite them to help share it on social media, in their newsletters, and through personal invitations. What happens through that part of the plan is that you bring more people to your event. You let more people know about your book, and more people fall in love with you as the author. Now, the other part of the preparation to do the BOGO is that you have to be able to decide how this is going to work. People can buy a book and give one. That's what BOGO is. Buy one, give one. BOGO. So you want to make sure that you properly communicate that to people at the event. That's why I suggest having the author do a really short presentation, a reading, a Q&A with the audience. And you might want to do that actually 2 or 3 times during the time that you're at the bookstore. In that presentation, you can talk about the charity. In fact, have that charity come up with you. Introduce the charity to your audience and say that this signing event is in honor of this particular charity, and you're inviting people to buy one book for themselves and buy a second book to donate to the charity. And when people go up to the book signing table, there's a beautiful basket or a box there that they can put that second book into, and the charity will go home that night with the books. Now, in terms of preparing, which is stage number 2, for that particular action, you have to have things like a one sheet, a sign, a banner, whichever it's going to be for you. It could be a sign on the table, a bigger banner that talks about your BOGO offer. You might want to have a postcard that people take away in case they don't buy one that night. Maybe they didn't have the money, but maybe they want to later. So we make a plan, then we prepare. Make a plan, then we prepare. So with the BOGO offer, what I meant by a one sheet is simply one sheet of paper that on one side has information about your book, ISBN number, ordering information, short description of your book, any really good juicy quotes or testimonials from people, publishing information if that's available. And then on the reverse side, page number 2, that's where you have information about the author. That's where you have information about you, your bio, maybe a couple of quotes about your speaking if you're a speaker, and contact information. Super critical. Contact information. Phone number, email, website, LinkedIn, and social media handles. So have your one sheet there, and that goes with every single book that you sell that night. You don't have to put it necessarily with the BOGO books, with the ones that you're giving away, but certainly with the ones that you've sold and people are going home with. What I want to do in terms of preparing is imagine people are going to be in a lineup waiting to buy your book. What we want to do is then be able to encourage them to buy that second book. And a great way to do that is to have the representative from the charity in line with you, talking about the charity, talking about their relationship with you, thanking people in advance for considering to buy one, give one. Have somebody taking pictures throughout the night of that empty box, and now the box is getting more full. Take pictures of the person with the from the charity with the box of books, and then one at the end of the night, and then the final picture of you handing over that box of books and maybe people clapping or celebrating with you that they made that possible for this organization. Also take Facebook Lives, take videos, put it on Periscope, which uploads to Twitter, but create synergy around this event. The other thing that we want to do is invite media. That's part of the preparation, is invite media to these kind of events. It's hard actually to get media to come to a book signing, folks. It really is. But when you have a charitable component, it's a lot easier to get media to come to a book signing. So we plan, we prepare. Another way to look at this whole concept of buying your books in bulk and what are the exact steps is that we create the other plan. And the other plan might be around how you're going to do a virtual blog or book tour as a way of selling your books in bulk. A virtual blog or book tour is where a bunch of bloggers in a period of time are reviewing your book, writing about your book, posting those reviews on social media, and often on Barnes & Noble, Goodreads, Chapters, Amazon, all the major sites. And what's really cool is that people are probably only buying one book from that blogger's site, which links back to usually Amazon. But what happens if you have, in the course of that day, 2 or 3 bloggers blogging about your book, and they're each having people from their blog buy copies of your book? It's now created this sense of bulk energy around your book. So with step number 2 on that strategy, prepare, what do we need to do? We need to either work with a blog tour coordinator, and there's lots of great ones out there, or you need to plan it yourself, which means you need to find 5 or 10 or 25 bloggers who are going to review your book over a period of time, so that every day you've got 1 to 3 blogs coming out about your book. They post a blog, and then they also post that review from their blog onto Amazon, Goodreads, Chapters, any book selling sites that you have your book registered with. So that takes a little bit of coordination. You probably figured that out by now. But that's a great way to prepare to sell your books in bulk. Cool thing about the Global Influence Summit is in the audience, there's a ton of authors, really successful authors, best-selling authors, New York Times selling authors. And you know, when you meet these people at coffee break and lunches, you'll be able to share strategies around how to sell your books in bulk and what's working. So I definitely recommend that when you come to the event, you take full opportunity to be part of the networking opportunities to share ideas and build your influence. Now, the other part that I want to talk about with selling your books in bulk is speaking events. Many of you that are authors are also speakers, and this is a great way on your books. If you have more than one book, you can actually bundle. The bundle would be all of your books, or maybe your book and some of your products. and selling those from the back of the room. So again, you need to have pricing, you need to have signage there. People need to know while they're standing in line what money they need to be digging out of their purse or wallet, or how much they're going to be putting onto their Visa card. So the more information by signage that's easy to read from a lineup that you can offer people, the easier your sales will be. Again, have something on a paper or a postcard so that if the conference is called back to order, called back to session, and they didn't get a chance to buy the book then, next is another speaker coming up who's probably going to have an offer too. So you want to have people take away something. What is a great strategy here for the preparation is to have a volunteer or 2 or 3 with you at your table. And for the people in line, they're hitting out that order form and explaining how your BOGO or your bulk sale is working. And that way, if the conference is called back to session, because the break is over, people have the information about your book. So I've seen so many people not do bulk orders because the lineup was called back to session, and then people are on to the next speaker, and you've missed that opportunity. So really important to strategize with that plan. Every single action you're going to take around selling your books in bulk needs to have a detailed plan and an executionable strategy. So all of the steps, all of the actions that need to happen, which is part of the preparing. Now, the third option that I'm going to give you for selling your books in bulk is to wrap it up in a speaking fee. When I speak, and I do a lot of speaking, when I speak, I actually include a bulk order of books in my speaking fee. In fact, I'm working with one of my clients right now. So what we've done is I've also included a bulk order of his books in my speaking fee on certain contracts where his book is a great fit for my audience. And that is working really cool. So that's the sort of the plan is to do that. What do you do to prepare? Well, you got to come up with pricing and make sure that it fits within your pricing strategy. You need to have information about how the books will get to them. For example, with the client I'm working with right now, his books come out at the end of the year. So what we're doing is on my contract, I'm saying right in there that the orders of these books will be drop shipped to their office on such and such a date, and they'll have that to look forward to. So be really clear. It means you have to have great accounting, great follow-up strategies, but bundling your books into your speaking fee is a way to get your book into the hands of readers. And of course, I do a lot of work corporately, and it's great because it means that depending on the contract that I'm working on with that client, they're leaving with 25 or 50 or 100 copies. And then I can also put in the contract that they can buy additional copies at a deeply discounted price. And I've had many clients do that. They'll say, Charmaine, we have 100 people in the audience and the contract only had 50 books. Could we purchase another 50? Sure. And then of course we make it really easy for them to do that, and we make it appealing in terms of the price. Now, one other plan around speaking, this again has to do with speaking, is that you can also use bulk orders with webinars. How does that work? Well, if you're doing webinars or telesummits where there's a fee for people, you can actually say that your fee includes 2 books or 5 books. I've seen all different types of models, and we're just starting to play with this now, where the registration fee will include 5 books that will be drop shipped to them, which I love because, again, it's getting my books out to people. They think it's cool because they look at the registration price and they're getting a webinar and this amazing learning guide and ebook and 5 copies, print copies, signed copies of a book being sent to them that they can do whatever they want with. I bet you people are thinking, hey, there's my Christmas shopping done. Or I'm going to give these 5 books to employees who have done a great job. So be really creative. For every way that you're going to sell your books in bulk, have a plan, and then identify what you need to do to prepare. And then write it all down. Make sure it's all written down so that you can replicate this system over and over and over again. And you can also give it to someone who loves you and wants to support you, or someone that you hire, like an intern or a VA, to make this possible for you so that you can keep going out there and doing what you do best while other people are doing your bulk sale strategies for you. So those are a few tips. We're going to dive even deeper on the next webinar talking about other ways that you can sell your books in bulk, but these were a few to just get you started. And I hope to see you in February at the Global Influence Summit. You can find out more there at globalinfluencesummit.com. It's going to be the event of 2017 to turn your impact into action. Incredible speakers there and incredible audience members just like you. So we hope to see you there. Thanks everyone for joining us.